Hello guys, what is up? MegaGamer 106 here, and today I've got a special video. This video is my 5 top tips to Naughty Dog on how to make Uncharted 4 the best in the franchise. The reason I'm making this video is because I've noticed that a ton of people out there have considered Uncharted 2 to be a lot better than the third one. I'm not one of those people, but I can see their reasoning for it. I believe that Uncharted 3's story is better than the second, mainly because it features elements like the relationship between Drake and Sully. It also has very interesting villains, the gameplay has improved a little bit, the environments look absolutely great, scenes like the cargo plane and the ship graveyard are unbelievably outstanding, and the online is very fun. Now, this isn't much of a step up from Uncharted 2, so I can see why people still consider that as the best in the franchise. So this video is going to give my 5 tips on how to make Uncharted 4 a definite best in the series. And when I say that, I mean the Vita exclusives as well. Let's begin with the first tip, and this is a pretty obvious one. And this tip is PlayStation 4 launch title. Now, pretty much to everyone at Sony and to Naughty Dog and pretty much every single fan of Uncharted will say that Uncharted 4 on the PS4 as a launch title is a no-brainer. I mean, think about it. Uncharted 4 was not only pushing the PS3 to its absolute limit, but also barely surpassed in Uncharted 2 in terms of graphical improvements and technical improvements. Sure, the ship graveyard was an outstanding set of levels, but let's be honest, we're not going to see much better than that on the PlayStation 3 these days. So, starting development for Uncharted 4 on the PS4 for maybe a year or two in future times, then that's probably a good idea. So, plus it's also very good for sales. So consider that, Sony and Naughty Dog. Now, tip number 2, and that is take your time with it. Now, I've been keeping up with Naughty Dog and their statuses for quite a while now, and I noticed that they actually regret announcing the release date right away with their announcement of Uncharted 3. They said they regret that and they wish they could reverse that, so they had a little more comfort and a little more time with Uncharted 3, and now the end result is that a part of the game feels a little bit rushed, roughly around the end. So, Naughty Dog, just take your time with this one. I understand because of what you learned with the release date in Uncharted 3, that is why you haven't done a release date for The Last of Us yet. I know you're probably going to announce that at E3, and we shouldn't really expect you to announce that anytime sooner. Although if you don't announce it by E3, then maybe fans are starting to get a little pissed off. But people like me who know about what happened with Uncharted 3, we understand why you haven't been doing this release date yet. Now, so like I said, do the same thing for Uncharted 4, okay? Don't announce a release date. And since this is a pretty similar tip as well to another thing I've been thinking of that isn't a part of my other 5 tips, I have to say, don't show off so much. You also learnt this from Uncharted 3 onto The Last of Us. The only things you've shown from The Last of Us so far is the announcement trailer, and obviously a couple of concept arts, or a couple of behind-the-scenes features, an interview or two, and of course some screenshots of a gameplay demo. That's pretty much all you've shown. By this time, with Uncharted 3, you had 3 gameplay clips, an announcement trailer, a release date, and you also had a ton of screenshots and a huge multiplayer reveal, already announced the release date of the multiplayer beta, and you were announcing everything left, right, and centre. That also affected your time and effort with Uncharted 3, and I understand why you're not doing that with The Last of Us. So I appreciate that, and I can wait, because there's a lot of other games that are getting announcements and such as well, such as God of War Ascension, and GTA 5, and all of those kind of games I'm very looking forward to. So, considering all of these games I'm looking forward to, as long as one of them has an announcement every now and then about something with the game, I'm happy. So take your time with The Last of Us, and take your time with Uncharted 4. Okay. Tip number 3. And that is, make your treasure system and your whole exploring system a lot more like Golden Abyss. Now, a lot of diehard PS3 fans who aren't very much fans of handhelds are definitely going to point out the fact that the console versions are a lot better than the Vita version of Uncharted. I'll disagree when you say a lot, because the Uncharted Golden Abyss was pretty identical to Uncharted Drake's Fortune. The graphics were very similar, if not the same. Now, I know you're going to do a little complaint about how the screen's smaller, so it doesn't have to be bigger resolution in general, but that's what it looks like when you're playing the handheld, okay? The gameplay's very fun, the story's okay, not as good as the consoles, of course. Same with the characters, you don't have as many lovable characters, but there was a bit more replay value, okay? And that's because their treasure system was a lot different from the normal Uncharted consoles. Now, if you haven't played the Vita, this is what the treasure system is like. They have not only treasures, but they use the Vita's features, such as touchscreen and all of that, to create so many different ways of uncovering treasures and mysteries and all of that. And the system that the Vita version of Uncharted has is actually really fun, and I would actually prefer that system on the console versions than the ones we've got right now. Sure, searching for treasures is very fun, but I think the system of Golden Abyss, the treasure system there, was actually a bit more fun and actually did require a lot more time to find and discover and complete. So I'll be very good with that system if it was in Uncharted 4, okay? Tip number 4. And that tip is, include the medals and the store, okay? Now, with Uncharted 3, when that first came out, we noticed 3 things. It was missing the medal system, it was missing a store, so we could buy our own skins and weapons and all of that, and little tweaks, maybe even a few things like no gravity that were fun. And also, there was no cutscene viewer. Now, since then, they made a patch to have a cutscene viewer, but they never did anything for medals and the store, and I'm pretty sure they announced that they're not going to do that for Uncharted 3. They're not going to patch that. So, what I have to say is that included in Uncharted 4, okay? Once again, I know you had to kind of rush Uncharted 3 around the end, so that's probably why you didn't end up including those things, but you have to include the medals and the store in Uncharted 4, okay? I was so sad when I found out I couldn't beat Catherine Marlowe walking around in the desert, getting myself killed on the plane hundreds of times and laughing my head off. I was so disappointed when I found out I couldn't do that. And even though medals and trophies are pretty similar, there's still a lot more medals than trophies, so that creates a bit more replay value. And it always feels good getting medals, earning money that you can use on multiplayer and on single player. And yeah, so definitely include that in Uncharted 4 this time around, okay? Good. Now, the 5th and final tip is more exploration. Now, I covered this a tiny bit in the second tip, but I want to cover this a bit more again. Okay? Naughty Dog, you promised that in Uncharted 3 we would have a lot more exploration than normal in an Uncharted game. Now, considering the desert scene and the normal game in general, I was quite disappointed, okay? I was wishing that the desert scene, you could walk around and, you know, go in any direction, go on for a while, but I was a little disappointed at how linear that was. So, remember to include in Uncharted 4 a bit more exploration, okay? You don't have to go completely out of the way, but once again, a bit of a tip from Uncharted Golden Abyss. There's a lot of other secret paths that you have to just run into sometimes. Obviously, I would like a bit more exploration than that, but that's what the Uncharted games are all about, is exploring and all of that. Okay, so those are my 5 tips on how to make Uncharted 4 the greatest Uncharted in the franchise, or in the series. Now, I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope at least someone from Naughty Dog bothered to watch this video and, you know, see what a casual Uncharted fan would want to see in the next game, okay? And I'm pretty sure everyone in the comments will write down their opinions on what I've said, and maybe their opinions on what will make Uncharted better next time around as well. These are just tips. There's obviously quite a few other things that can make Uncharted 4 better in many different ways. A lot of people might say improved story or improved graphics, but these are just things that I would personally love to see in Uncharted 4. Obviously I have a bigger list, but those are just my top 5. So thanks for watching again. I'm MegaGamer, and yeah, I'll see you around soon. See ya.